Hello, my name is Martin. For 26 years, I worked as a process engineer, Lean Six Sigma Black Belt, at one of the leading Czech banks and later as a police commissioner specializing in economic crime. My entire career has revolved around uncovering the truth hidden within complex financial data. Today, I apply those same methods to algorithmic trading. My English isn't perfect, so I use AI to explain my methods clearly. But logic, discipline, and ethics, those stem from a lifelong pursuit of the truth. Let's watch the video.
Take a look at this equity curve. It's smooth, shooting straight up, and drawdowns are practically non-existent. It's exactly the kind of chart that keeps you up at night, making you start mentally calculating how long it will take to trade your job for a Caribbean beach. It's the visual definition of success. But in trading, there's one harsh rule. If it looks too good to be true, it usually isn't. At this stage, we fall into the biggest trap our own minds have set for us. Our ego desperately wants to be right. It wants to believe that we are the chosen ones who have discovered the secret code to the markets. And so we begin to subconsciously ignore warning signs. We overlook the fact that we had to add 15 filters to that beautiful curve and set the parameters to the nearest hundredth. We have just fallen victim to curve fitting, over-optimization. Over-optimization is nothing more than a digital mirage. It's a state where your system hasn't learned how the market moves, but has simply memorized specific historical data. It's like not learning the formulas for a math test, but just memorizing the results from last year's test. As soon as a slightly different example appears in live trading, you'll fail immediately. In today's video, during the measure phase, we'll therefore take off our rose-colored glasses. We won't celebrate backtest profits. Instead, we'll roll up our sleeves and start doing painstaking detective work. We'll look for false evidence and shatter illusions. We'll learn something crucial: how to tell the difference between a truly robust system and a random collection of numbers. Let's get started. What is curve fitting? Definition: when a model becomes a mirror of the past. So what exactly is curve fitting? The data we work with always has two components: signal and noise. The signal is the repeatable trend in the market. For example, the fact that a sharp move is often followed by a correction. Noise is a completely random movement caused by someone in London just clicking on a large order, or a news report coming out that no one expected. Curve fitting occurs when your algorithm stops looking for the signal and starts adapting to the noise. Instead of the model understanding the rules of the game, it simply traced the zigzagging path of last year's chart. Think of it like tailoring a suit. A well-designed system is like a high-quality, off-the-rack jacket that fits you even if you gain or lose a little weight. It's sturdy. Curve fitting, however, is a suit tailored so tightly that you can't even breathe in it. It fits you perfectly for just 1 second when you're standing still like a model. As soon as you take a step, that is, as soon as the market shifts by even a millimeter, the seams will burst. In trading, this means that your system, which made millions in backtesting, will immediately collapse in the real market because the market has moved differently than your suit was tailored for. The mathematical trap: degrees of freedom. This is where we run into hard math. Every parameter you add to the system, every additional moving average, every time filter, every restriction like trade only on Tuesdays, reduces your system's so-called degrees of freedom. The more conditions you have, the easier it is to force historical data to look profitable. But beware, you also increase the likelihood that you've just created a model that describes something that will never happen again. Why is this dangerous? The greatest danger of curve fitting is that it gives you a false sense of security. You'll see low drawdown and a high success rate, but it's just a statistical illusion. In the measure phase, therefore, we must learn to view the results with absolute skepticism. We must ask, is this profit the result of logic, or did I just torture the data long enough until it confessed to what I wanted to hear? Now that we know that curve fitting is essentially a scam on our own account, we need to learn how to spot it. Imagine a backtest as the testimony of a key witness. It looks credible, it makes sense, but we have to verify that it isn't making things up. There are 3 clear warning signs, let's call them false evidence, that will immediately tell you that you're dealing with nothing more than a mathematical construct, not a trading system. Evidence A: overcomplicated rules, too many filters. The first piece of false evidence is complexity. If your strategy looks like this, buy when the RSI is above 50, the 20-day EMA is above the 50-day EMA, it's Tuesday, there's a full moon, and the VIX volatility index is below 20, then you've just created a prison for your data. In Six Sigma, we talk about how a process must be stable and simple to be controllable. In trading, this applies doubly. The more "and also" conditions you have, the more you force the system to match a single specific historical anomaly. A robust system is usually based on one main idea and at most one or two filters. If you have 5, you're holding false evidence in your hands. Evidence B: parametric sensitivity, fragility. The second piece of evidence is what I call living on the edge of a cliff. Try this simple test. Change the period of your main indicator by a small amount. For example, if you have a moving average with a period of 20 and the system is making great profits, but when you change it to 19 or 21 the curve collapses into a loss, you've found false evidence. A robust system must function within a certain range. If profitability stands or falls with one specific number, you've hit a fluke, not a pattern. A good system is like a table on 4 legs. If you shorten one by a centimeter, it still stands. Curve fitting is like a pyramid built on its tip. Evidence C: statistical silence, low number of trades. The third piece of evidence is the most common trap for beginners. You show me a test with a 90% success rate and an amazing profit factor. Then I look at the number of trades and see the number 12, over 2 years. Gentlemen, 12 trades is not a statistical sample. It's a fluke. Even that proverbial monkey, if it were throwing darts, could have a streak of 5 wins in a row. For us as analysts, the truth only begins with hundreds of trades. If your system trades so infrequently that you could count the trades on your fingers, you have no proof of its effectiveness. You only have proof that something happened 12 times in the past that just happened to suit your purposes. When you look at an equity curve, most people just see that it's rising. But a detective looks at how it rises. Imagine you have a system that earned 30% in a year. At first glance, that's great. But then you find out that 25% of that profit came from a single trade that happened to coincide with a random server outage or an extreme news event, while the rest of the year the system slowly bled money. That's not a robust system. That's a system that got lucky once in a lifetime. In Six Sigma, we look for process stability. We want profits to be distributed evenly. If your results depend on 2 random rockets, you don't have a strategy. You have a lottery ticket that probably won't win a second time. Markets change. There are periods when prices trend, and periods when they simply flutter within a narrow range. A robust system is one that can barely survive low drawdown during unfavorable periods and then make money during its own favorable periods. The illusion of randomness is revealed when a system appears bulletproof in both regimes during testing. That's suspicious. No algorithm is the king of all market conditions. If someone shows me a system that churns out money in both trending and choppy markets with the same volatility, I know I'm looking at a machine that has been forced into obedience by historical filters, not a reflection of reality. Remember, real trading is messy. Truly robust systems have jagged equity curves, periods of stagnation, and their own quirks. If your system looks like something out of a geometry textbook, you've probably just found a surefire way to wipe out your account. In the measure phase, we learn to love imperfection because that's what the data honestly reveals. Detective tools, how to test it. Tool number 1, out of sample, OOS, the truth test. The first and most basic tool of a detective is out of sample testing. It's simple, but it requires discipline. You divide your data into 2 parts: in sample, training data, and out of sample, test data. Think of it this way: in sample is the textbook your system learns from. Out of sample is the real-world test the system has never seen before. If your equity curve looks like a rocket in the textbook but flattens out or turns into a loss in the test, you have confirmation. Your system has merely memorized the data. Remember, every system lies in the data you're optimizing on. The truth only comes out in OOS. Tool number 2. Walk-forward analysis, WFA. Another more advanced tool is walk-forward analysis. This simulates a trader's real-life experience. We don't just examine a single large block of data, but instead continuously re-optimize the system on short segments and immediately test it on the next short segment. It's like driving a car in fog. You can only see 50 meters ahead, you drive that distance, and then look again to see what's ahead. If the system passes the walk-forward test, it means it has the ability to adapt to changing market conditions. If the WFA fails, the system is too rigid and is unlikely to survive the first change in volatility in the real market. Tool number 3, stress testing, Monte Carlo. The third tool is my favorite, stress testing, often performed using Monte Carlo simulations. Here we explore all the ways things could go wrong. What if the order of trades is shuffled? What if slippage increases by 20%? What if the top 10% of trades are removed? If your strategy falls apart like a house of cards after these minor changes, it isn't robust. A robust system must be hardy. It must withstand worse execution and worse conditions than those in an ideal backtest. In Six Sigma, we call this process tolerance. Here too, we're looking at how much stress your system can handle before it collapses. When to say enough and scrap the system. The key to success in the measure phase isn't fixing a bad system, but having the courage to scrap it. A detective doesn't try to turn an innocent person into a culprit. He seeks the truth. If your tests, OOS, WFA, Monte Carlo, scream that the system is over-optimized, don't try to add another filter to fix it. You're just piling lie upon lie. Throw it away and start over with clean logic. That's the biggest difference between an amateur and a professional. Conclusion: the detective's summary, the golden rule and the illusion of control. We're nearing the end. If you've gone through today's detective-style interrogation honestly, you may be watching with a heavy heart as your dream strategy crumbles in the out-of-sample test. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. The market isn't a perfectly drawn graph. It's a living, chaotic organism. We aren't in the market to judge it or impose our truth and our idea of how it should behave. After all, trading is a game in which we will never have full control over the future. Our job is simply to manage risk and seek robust probability. And that is almost always found in simplicity. Fewer variables, fewer filters, more room for the market to breathe naturally. Mindset. A tool, not an idol. Remember one crucial thing. You must never become attached to any strategy. It is not your identity and it is not your legacy. Instead, treat them as disposable tools. We'll build a robust system based on data, deploy it in the market, say from January to December, and let it do its job. And as soon as market conditions change, volatility dries up or conversely explodes, and the system stops working, we'll shut it down without any emotion and replace it with a new one. No regrets, no stubborn attempts to fix it at all costs. Healing from disappointment in trading comes through absolute acceptance of reality. Call to action and closing remarks. Your homework for today is clear. Open up your current best backtest. Take off your rose-colored glasses, put on your detective's hat, and look at it through the most critical lens you can find. Try changing one of its main parameters slightly. Try to find at least one false signal, and if you find it, be glad. You've just saved yourself a lot of real money and frustration. That's all from me for today's detective session in the measure phase. Have a great day, and may your backtesting go well.